That's Sting at 90.7 WFUV. This is Eric Holland. I'm connected with Sting by Zoom right now. We just heard Running Water, the opening track on the new album, The Bridge. What should we know about that song, Sting?
Well, it's called Rushing Water, Eric, but apart from that, I love the imagery of water, and submersion in water has many, many symbolic meanings: cleansing, sacramental. For me, it's a symbol of the feminine, of the unconscious. So it has a lot of levels of meaning.
Yeah, I like that line about the shrink hitting you with the hammer.
Well, that's not biographical.
So the album is called The Bridge. What is the significance of that title?
The bridge is really a metaphor for something that I think all of us are going through, including me. We're all looking for a bridge to the future where we can find somewhere that is less anxious, somewhere safer, maybe happier. All of us are looking for it now. And I think in the light of the crises that we're facing in terms of the pandemic, in terms of climate change and political turmoil, we're all looking for a safer place. So the bridge is the kind of literally the metaphor for the whole album. I'm writing about characters in transition between worlds, between relationships, between life and death, and sickness and health. And we're all in that transition, all of us, even you, Eric.
Yes, absolutely me. And and as you suggest, it really works for the nation and internationally as well.
We need a bridge.
Did you have a plan when you started to say, all right, I'm going to record a new album, about the kind of album you wanted, and did it end up the way you may have gone in?
No, I never have a plan, Eric. I go in the studio and I put myself in a state of mind where I'm open to ideas that come to me. It's a kind of mysterious process, but I never have an agenda. I never wanted to write about the pandemic, but nonetheless, that did have an effect on the subject matter. You know, as I say, it was about transition and looking beyond the transition. How do we progress out of these problems? So I think I managed to do it. It's a record that pleases me when I listen back to it, because that's the work I did for the past 2 years, and it kept me sane, just working.
So not a lot of demos before you got in the studio, a lot of interaction with the musicians you had?
No, I had no ideas at all. You know, I mean, the creative process for me is a bit like fishing. You throw a line in the river and, you know, most days you get nothing. You just have to be patient. But I know for a fact if you don't turn up at the river with a line, you're not going to catch a fish.
Sure.
So it's just turning up every day.
Anything remarkable about the sessions as far as the who, the where, and the how?
Well, a lot of the album was recorded remotely. You know, the drummer could be in Los Angeles, guitar player in Paris, me in Italy. But of course, that's not particularly novel for recording musicians because we've had that technology for a long time. The trick is to make that sound intimate and warm. And we did that by just knowing each other very well. I've worked with most of these musicians for decades. So we have an instant rapport. They know what I want. And I think the record does sound very warm and cozy, even though it was recorded, you know, thousands of miles apart.
In my imagination, your home base is here in the city, maybe overlooking Central Park. You've had a place here for many years, right? How long have you called New York home, if you do?
I'm an Englishman in New York. You know that.
I do.
I love the city dearly. I love to be a citizen of the city, and walking around that city is one of my greatest pleasures. At the moment, I'm living in Chelsea, in Midtown, but I'm going to move back uptown. I think I'm an uptown girl, really. To quote Billy's great song. New York is home.
Does the city inspire you in any ways that you can express?
It always has, you know, from the first moment I arrived in 1978. there's a vertical drama to New York City that virtually could be nowhere else. The skyline, the number of people, the all kinds of people are there. I often call it an island off the coast of America. You know, it's so cosmopolitan. I've always felt at home there, always.
Adding to your cool list of acting credits, that includes one of my faves, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. You appeared in the very New York show, Only Murders in the Building. Was that as fun as it seemed?
Well, I live in the building, and you know, I became a suspect at one point, but all I can say is it wasn't me. But I've known Martin and Steve for a long time and worked with them on Saturday Night Live on a number of occasions. So when they wrote a gag and asked if I minded, you know, would I be in it? I said, absolutely. And I got to meet Selena Gomez and played a sort of exaggerated version, only slightly, of myself.
So we shouldn't expect you'll be popping in season 2 then.
Well, if I live in the building, you'd think I get a walk on now and then, you know, collecting my groceries or walking that awful dog. Who knows?
All right, we'll be optimistic. Top of your head, favorite 3 Police songs, favorite 3 Sting songs?
Oh, well, they're all the same. So, yeah, I mean, Roxanne obviously, you know, launched our career, so that's a great one. And the biggest one of all was Every Breath You Take, which was the final song. So something in the middle, let's go with King of Pain. As far as the new stuff goes, I love my new song, Rushing Water. And then the first one I released was If You Love Somebody, Set Them Free. And something in the middle, let's go with Fragile.
All right. Oh, thanks for sharing those. And thanks for all the great music and for joining me for this little chat on the radio today, by the way.
Thank you, Eric.
I've got If It's Love queued up. Could you share something about that one? And then if you'll indulge me, maybe you can play DJ and say you're about to hear it here at 90.7 WFUV, which, by the way, I hope you enjoy when you're around the city as well.
Of course I do.
All right.
Hey, this is Sting on 90.7. You're about to hear me whistling for the first time on record. Sting, If It's Love.
All right. Fantastic. Hey, would you mind doing one of those kind of This Is Sting things again for when, but say member supported, so we can.
Yeah.
Okay, great, appreciate it.
Hi, this is Sting on 90.7 on member supported WFUV.
That's how we do it. Yeah, fantastic. Though you mentioned a song off Dream of the Blue Turtles. I'm really crazy about the first couple of albums that you made. You know, I mean, much respect for every phase and all the different things you've tackled. Would you ever consider making kind of a pure jazz album?
You know, I've worked with many jazz musicians, and I love jazz. I can speak a language with them, that I can communicate with them, but I'm not a jazz musician. You know, my music tends to be arranged. But I like working with musicians who can turn on a dime. People like Branford Marsalis, who I saw the other night, friends of mine. So it's a sensibility more than a genre for me. So no, I don't need to make a jazz record. The world isn't waiting for my jazz record.
All right. Well, this was great, and I hope you'll drop by our Bronx studio sometime, Sting.
I'd love to, Eric. God bless you.
All the best.